Tonight's Florida Senate debate, moderator George Stephanopoulos called it the wildest Senate race in the nation. Congressman Kendrick, Marco Rubio, and Governor Charlie Crist in a fierce battle for an open seat. Tonight, the three faced off in their second debate in Orlando. There was no doubt which one was the Democrat.
I'm going to say this to every Floridian. If they want to change Social Security, they're going to have to go through me. I'm 6'3", former state trooper, used to be a football player, and I think it's important that we don't allow this kind of political tailspin on this issue.
Joining me now, live from Orlando, Congressman Kendrick Meek. Congressman, this debate tonight is your second. There's less than 4 weeks left in the campaign. Do you feel that you have been adequately supported by the National Democratic Party in this run?
We've gotten a lot of visits from national leaders, but I can tell you right now, we need more resources down here. We have enough to stay competitive in this race, but to be able to win this race, we need more help. I'm standing up on behalf of principals of the middle class. I'm the only candidate that hasn't tried to become friends with Sarah Palin or George W. Bush or Dick Cheney. I'm running against two Republicans here in Florida. Charlie Crist tries to recreate himself, not only as a moderate, but he has said that he's been a conservative his entire life. Marco Rubio is a very scary individual, one that should not be federalized because he follows people like Senator DeMint and Dick Cheney and others that are out there. And tonight he made a clear choice. He decided to hang on to Tea Party ideology versus standing with Floridians who need help right now.
Congressman Meek, you've been under pressure by some saying you should drop out of the race because in this three-way race, you and Charlie Crist will split. You'll get a majority vote. You'll split the anti-Rubio vote. Rubio will end up as a senator. What do you say to that?
The reason why people will not go out to vote for Charlie Crist, and the reason why I'm going to be the winner here in Florida, is that Charlie Crist is standing on a wet paper box when it comes down to his positions on issues. The fact that he stood by and watched Marco Rubio rise from 30 points down to where he is now, he had an opportunity to beat him in the primary. He decided to bail out. Right now, we need people that are going to protect Social Security, that's going to stop it from being privatized. You can't count on Charlie Crist for that. You can't count on Charlie Crist when it comes down to standing up for pro-choice for women. You can't count on him to stand up for the middle class, but you can definitely count on me. Time after time again, I've stood up for public educators, I've stood up for veterans, I've stood up for those men and women that are in uniform and their families. And I think now more than ever, anyone who's going to beat Marco Rubio, it's me. I give people a reason to vote again, and tonight's debate was a clear indication of who's willing to lead and who's willing to follow. And I'm willing to lead, and I was willing to take on Marco Rubio at his own rhetoric when it comes down to what he thinks America should be. I think America should be a place where people have health care. I think America is a place where we should protect our environment, protect Floridians from offshore oil drilling. I have a strong voice on that issue. And Senator Bill Nelson called me after the debate and said it was a very, very strong stance that I've taken on behalf of Floridians. And that's what Floridians need now more than ever. I'm going to drive people out to vote. Democrats in Florida are with me. That's the reason why Al Gore was here last week. That's the reason why Joe Biden was here 2 weeks ago. President Obama will be here. President Clinton will be back. We will continue to fight hard here. But if you want to know what Democrats can do throughout the country, they can send resources to my campaign because that's what we need. We have them, but we're going to need more because we're going up against big corporate interests and also special interests because they want to see someone like Marco Rubio who's going to stand in the gap for them in the United States Senate. But I'm here to stand in the gap on behalf of everyday Floridians.
I've been struck by Bill Clinton spending as much time with your campaign as he has. As a national Democrat, I think he's the one who spent the most time with your campaign. What's interesting to me about that is you're currently running third in the polls. Bill Clinton was running third in the polls when he was running for president. He had an independent, Ross Perot, running against him, as well as Republican incumbent President Bush. There was a time when he was running third in the polls. He came from behind. He ended up with 43%, which was enough to win the presidency in 1992. Does he have any particular advice for you for your position in this race and how to deal with a three-way race? Because he won the presidency in a three-way race.
Well, people can identify public servants when they see them. And it's not a day that goes by that I don't get stopped by a Floridian. And I'm not asking for party affiliation, but when I get stopped by you, they say, Kendrick, you hang in there, you keep fighting for us. And that's what Bill Clinton represents. I'm proud to have Bill Clinton come down and campaign for me, just like any other Democrat that's standing for the people of goodwill. I look forward to being able to win this race. Now, let me tell you, in the primary, you had people down here writing my political obituary saying that it's over. We were down by 10 points 3 weeks out. We won by 26 points. And we're counting on everyday Floridians to stand with me so that I can stand for them in the United States Senate. I'm going to tell you right now, there's no, back and forth or being quiet on the issues down here. It's important that we stand up for our environment. It's important that we stand up for creating green jobs, and I don't apologize for that. We stand up for people who punch in and punch out every day, and we stand for our seniors. Both of those candidates who are lifelong Republicans, Marco Rubio and Charlie Crist, are saying that we should repeal health care. I'm saying we should not repeal health care. Insurance companies want the ball back, and I'm not willing to give it back to them. And I think it's important that we don't no longer, walk around with noodle backs when it comes down to standing up on behalf of health care and standing up on behalf of people who need a voice in the United States Senate, and I'm going to provide that. That's the reason why I'm leaving a very safe House seat to run for the U.S. Senate, because I'm sick and tired of what's going on in the Senate, but folks not going all the way and pushing a card. So if folks want to see someone who's going to represent them, it's me. And I believe that as we continue to move along, you're going to see me not only move up in the polls, but you're going to see me win this race here. I'm asking Floridians to join me, and I'm asking Americans to join me in that effort.
Congressman Meek, in your safe congressional seat, you voted for the health care reform bill that was passed by the Congress this year, that the president signed. Many Democrats now running for re-election are running away from that bill. They're running away from that vote. It sounds like you're taking that vote and taking it to the voters.
Well, the situation in Florida, 3,500 Floridians lose their insurance every week. We have seniors that will be cutting pills in half right now if it wasn't for the passage of the health care legislation that gives them more prescription drug benefit. 85% of care now dollars have to be put towards the patient's care. I'm not willing to roll that back. I'm not willing to allow the special interest to take the front seat on that issue. In a race like this one, in a three-way race, 37% of Floridians voting for me. Plurality wins this race. And I think that's what people are looking for. Someone that's willing to stand up to this ideological right-wing Tea Party effort that's going on, campaign that's going on throughout this country. We have to stand up for everyday Floridians as Democrats, Independents, and Republicans. I am the only pro-choice candidate in this race. I'm the only pro-environment candidate in this race, and I'm the only candidate that speaks passionately about middle-class tax cuts, protecting Social Security, making sure that we take down our debt, but do it responsibly and not stand up on behalf of the special interests. Marco Rubio sounded very hypocritical tonight when he was talking about the deficit. You can almost hear the soft music in the studio where we were having this live debate. But he was willing to stand up on behalf of the special interests and those that ship jobs overseas and the super wealthy in this country to stand for a tax cut that will cost the middle class $700 billion. So I think it's very, very important that everyone understands we're in a fight down here in Florida, and it ain't over yet. If I have anything to do with it, I'm going to make sure that we win down here.
Congressman Kendrick Meek, you just had the last word. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.